When we take a two-dimensional shape, such as this triangle, and fill in this triangle's area, and then expand that triangle into the third dimension, we are creating the space that this object takes up. The space that this 3D object takes up is its volume. To get that volume, we need to take the area of that base and expand it into the third dimension. Different than surface area and lateral area, we're finding out how much space this 3D solid takes up. The formula for finding the volume of a prism and a cylinder is volume equals the base area times the height of the prism or cylinder, which makes sense if we think of it as this example. If we take the area of this base and we expand it into the third dimension, that's going to be the volume of this solid. Let's look at example number 1. We need to find the exact volume of the prism. To do that, I'm going to draw the base of this prism. Now if you look at the way this prism sits, the bottom side of this prism is a rectangle. But this is not a rectangular prism. This is actually a triangular prism. The one shape that is the same all the way through is this triangular face. So the base of this triangle is not a rectangle. The base of this prism is not a rectangle. The base of this prism is actually a triangle. And it's going to be a right triangle where this leg is 5 and the hypotenuse is going to be 10. So to figure out this leg, I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem. 5 squared plus my second leg squared equals my hypotenuse squared. 25 plus b squared equals 100. Subtract 25 from both sides. B squared equals 75. Take the square root. B equals the square root of 75. Now 75 can be divided by 25, and 25 is a perfect square. The square root of 25 is 5 square roots of 3. So the square root of 75 is 5 square roots of 3. So this missing side is 5 square roots of 3 long. So the perimeter of my base is going to be 5 plus 10 plus 5 square roots of 3, which simplifies down to 15 and 5 square roots of 3 units. The base area, the formula for the area of a triangle is 1/2 times base times height. 1/2 times 5 square roots of 3 times 5. So I have 1/2 times 5 square roots of 3 over 1 times 5 over 1. If I multiply straight across my numerators, I get 25 square roots of 3 over, multiplying straight across my denominators, 2. And that's going to be units squared. So to find my volume, I need to take my base area times the height of my prism. Now when I say h here, this height is actually the height of the prism. be careful. Oftentimes our base will also have a height in it. The height of this triangle is 5, but that's not the height that we want to use for our volume. The height that we want to use for our volume is the height of our prism. In this case, the height of our prism is going to be this length right here, 6. So our volume is going to be our base area, 25 square roots of 3 over 2 times 6. I can put 6 over 1, cancel the 2 and the 6 and get a 3. So my volume is going to equal 3 times 25 square roots of 3. And that's going to be in units cubed. Volume is always measured in cubic units because we're talking about a 3D shape and how much space in 3 dimensions that shape takes up. Well, in this case, it's going to take up 75 square roots of 3 units, and that's units cubed. If you think of it this way, when I talk about my base area, that's in units squared, and when I multiply by my height, that's in units. So if I have units squared times units, I end up with units cubed.